Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjanasarafaya Chaksharumiritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakatam Hindasati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamadan Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parigana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visaka Anvitam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirviseka Sunyavadi Pashyaka Deshakarane Incha Kalpatarabhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopi Sakopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Saptakanchara Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhansate Devi Pranamami Hari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. So, I welcome you all to our systematic study of Vedic scriptures. In that, we are in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14. It's a very important chapter. It's a very important chapter, especially for us, because we are living in this world. And this chapter is speaking about the three modes of material nature. In the previous chapter, Lord Krishna spoke about Prakriti, the nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and also the consciousness. So there we get chance to understand who we are. We are not this body, but we are the spirit soul. And not only that, we also understand that this body is made of matter, and this body is made of matter. Oh, and the cause of this matter, material creation, existence, everything is also the Lord. And there is this verse number 13, chapter 22. 13, which is saying, yeah, Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhumte Prakriti Jan Gunan Karanam Gunasangosya Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. The cause of us taking birth into different species is what? Karanam Gunasangosya. Because the living entity, when it comes in contact with the material nature, then he is taking up different bodies. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. So, in this way, we see that uh, Krishna is saying that though we are superior energy, but because when we come in contact with the material energy, which is inferior, we also start behaving within the limits of the material energy. And but how to understand the functioning of the material energy? Matter, we know. Okay, if I see a table is made of wood, uh, and I see that okay, it won't change. This matter is not changing, but what is happening is that uh, in the due course of time, what happens is that this table uh, has a phase where it was created by someone, and then it is maintained, by someone or the nature when we call. And in the end, when the when the time comes, yeah, there is also deterioration and then perish. So in that way, matter is temporary and this body is temporary, and there is definitely some mechanism that is there through which we are also functioning when we take the shelter of yeah. So and then the connection to the 14th chapter is telling about those three energies. If we call these to be friends, mm, what will happen when we are having three kinds of friends, and then what are the effects of it? Yeah, because we usually want friends, we want association, we want to spend time, or the other way, the friends want to spend with us, and then because of that, there are also effects. Supreme Lord, I don't know if you, uh, I didn't share the screen, so let me know if you see the screen. Okay. So here we are talking about the three modes of material nature. So after Krishna has explained about the nature, the enjoyer and the consciousness, he is giving us a detail about the nature and what are these, how is it functioning, and this is the key for us uh, to understand uh, how to deal, how to handle, as long as we are in this body, as long as we are in this material world. So someone can read from verse one, one after the other, to till verse four. Anyone?
Prabhu, can I read, Prabhu?
Or probably yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Parang bhuyang pravakhyami jnananang jnanamuktamam. Jajajñata munaya sarve parang siddhimito gata. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection." Purport. From the 7th chapter to the end of the 12th of the 12th chapter, Sri Krishna in detail reveals the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the Lord Himself is further enlightening Arjuna. If one understands this chapter, if one understands this chapter through the process of philosophical speculation, he will come to an understanding of devotional service. In the 13th chapter, it was clearly explained that by humbly developing knowledge, one may possibly be freed from the material entanglement. It has also been explained that it is due to association with the modes of nature that the living entity is entangled in this material world. Now, in this chapter, the Supreme Personality explains that those modes of nature are how they act, how they bind, and how they give liberation. The knowledge explained in this chapter is proclaimed by the Supreme Lord to the superior to the superior to the knowledge given so far in other chapters. By understanding this knowledge, various great sages attained perfection and transferred to the spiritual world. The Lord now explains the same knowledge in a better way. This knowledge is far, far superior to all other processes of knowledge thus far explained, and knowing this, many attained perfections. Thus, it is expected that one who understands this 14th chapter will attain perfection. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Prabhu. So this is already Prabhupada is emphasizing, and not only Prabhupada is emphasizing, even Krishna himself is saying he's actually even glorifying this knowledge. Hmm? The words or the chapter that is Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We are not able to see you, Prabhu. I don't know if it's only for me or others also, Prabhu. Now, yes. Now, yes, Prabhu. Now, yes.
Okay, fine. But you're able to see the screen? Yeah?
Yes, Prabhu. Now we are able to see both you and the screen, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. So here the Lord is saying, again, I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom. So already in chapter 13, Lord spoke what is knowledge and what is else is not knowledge. Ajnanam. And here he is further emphasizing, and he's also saying, by understanding this knowledge, the best of knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. We all are working very hard to improve day by day, and we are aiming to become perfect one day. Isn't it? And towards that, if we take shelter of Bhagavad Gita and especially these chapters, yeah, because these chapters are telling about um the knowledge through which one can get freedom, the knowledge through which one can uh, attain supreme perfection. Hmm. If we refer to, there is this in Padma Puran, there is Gita Mahatmya, and in that every chapter is glorified. And then the chapter 14 goes like this: that Lord Shiva said to Parvati, that what is the benefit? Hmm? What is the purpose of 14th chapter? And also, what is the merits on achievement if one can hear this? It goes like this: in Simha Dweep was a king named Vikram Vetala. One day, when he was going to the forest for hunting, he took his son and two hunting dogs along with him. When he reached the forest, he released one dog to chase a rabbit. When the dog was chasing it, the rabbit looked at as if it was flying. Running and running, the rabbit reached a beautiful hermitage which was very peaceful. A deer were sitting happily under the shade of the trees, and the monkeys were joyfully eating the fruits of these trees. The cubs of the tigers were playing with the baby elephants, and snakes were crawling over the peacocks. In this forest, the great sage Vatsa lived, who worshipped Lord Krishna by reciting the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Near the ashram of Maharaj Vatsa, one of his disciples was washing his feet while chanting the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The earth at that spot became wet. Just then, that rabbit came running and slipped in the mud. Immediately, that rabbit attained a heavenly body. An airplane came down, picked him up, and took him off to the heavenly planets. After a moment, that dog arrived there in search of the rabbit, and he also slipped in the mud, gave up that dog body, and attained a heavenly body, and was also taken off to the heavenly planet. Seeing all of this, the disciples of Maharaj Vatsa started to laugh. King Vikramvetala, having witnessed those amusing events, inquired from that Brahman, how is it possible that rabbit and dog went off to heaven in front of our eyes? The Brahmana said, in this forest, a great sage of the name Vatsa, who has completely conquered his senses, He is always engaged in chanting 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I am his disciple. I am also, by his grace, always engaged in chanting the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Due to that rabbit and dog slipping in the mud, which had been made wet from the water, which had washed my feet, they both attained the higher planets. Now, I will tell you the reason why was laughing. In Maharashtra, there is the town of the name Pratudak. One Brahman of the name Keshav had lived there. He was the most cruel of men. His wife's name was Vilobanna. She was a very loose lady who always enjoyed the company of other men. For this reason, her husband became very angry and killed her. In her next life, she became that dog. And that Brahman, Keshav, due to his sinful activities, became that rabbit. Lord Shiva said, after hearing the glories of the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, King uh, Vikram Vetala also began daily reciting the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. When he gave up that body, he went to Vaikuntha, where he was able to engage eternally in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Isn't it so amazing? Yeah. So those are the kind of supplementaries to understand the words of Krishna as it is. We may say that, okay, is it not exaggeration? We have heard so many places about supreme perfection and everything. Yeah, they are. Uh, Lord Shiva is narrating these examples that happened already by just taking shelter of the 14th chapter. Yeah, Parth Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, absolutely.
And Prabhupada in the purport already highlights the importance of this. The first one is about, yeah, I mean, even he's saying what was revealed in chapter 7 to 12 is about the Lord, absolute truth as the supreme person of Godhead. And this chapter is through the process of philosophical speculation, one can attain perfection. Here we see that it's philosophical speculation, which means something which we may able to understand it. Yeah, maybe bhakti is too hi-fi for us because we always want to understand things which we are familiar with. Hmm. So that we can use a philosophy and with philosophical understanding and just with some uh, analytical understanding from our side, then we can understand this chapter. And then he is also saying, a result of such learning, what happened? It frees one from material entanglement. And then one comes to an understanding of devotional service. Huh? And why this knowledge is proclaimed superior to all. Hmm? Because whoever understands this chapter 14 will attain perfection. Why? Because he is understanding the mechanism of these modes of material nature. One can attain transcendental nature like Krishna and thus attain liberation. Huh? Lord is not entangled, and similarly, by understanding this, we also will not get entangled. And we what will happen? We will be transferred to spiritual world like the king Vikram Vetala. Hmm. And then there is also attaining transcendental nature like my own. The Lord is saying, I think in the next verse, yeah, someone would like to read the next one. Okay, I can't wait for.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
If it's so
Yeah.
slow, let me read. Yeah. For now, Dinath Prabhu, you read, and next person I'll read. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Idam gnanam upashritya mama sadarmiyam agataha sargepi no pajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. Translation. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. Purport. After acquiring perfect transcendental knowledge, one acquires qualitative equality with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, becoming free from repetition of birth and death. One does not, however, lose his identity as an individual soul. It is understood from Vedic literature that the liberated souls who have reached the transcendental planets of the spiritual sky always look to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, being engaged in his transcendental loving service. So, even after liberation, the devotees do not lose their individual identities. Generally, in the material world, whatever knowledge we get is contaminated by the three modes of material nature. Knowledge which is not contaminated by the three modes of material nature is called transcendental knowledge. As soon as one is situated in that transcendental knowledge, he is on the same platform as the Supreme Person. Those who have no knowledge of the spiritual sky hold that after being freed from the material activities of the material form, the spiritual identity becomes formless without any variegatedness. However, just as there is material variegatedness in this world, in the spiritual world, there is also variegatedness. Those in ignorance of this think that spiritual existence is opposed to material variety. But actually, in the spiritual sky, one attains a spiritual form. There are spiritual activities, and the spiritual situation is called devotional life. That atmosphere is said to be uncontaminated, and there one is equal in quality with the Supreme Lord. To obtain such knowledge, one must develop all the spiritual qualities. One who thus develops the spiritual qualities is not affected either by the creation or by the destruction of the material world. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Srinath. So here the Lord is saying by becoming fixed in this knowledge, that is the key. Yeah, we might get knowledge and we forget it. Yeah, and after some time again we might get, and again we forget. We apply for some time, and after some time we forget. So, by but Krishna is emphasizing a discipline here. A discipline is by fixing in this knowledge, one can attain to transcendental nature like the Lord. Yeah? What does that mean? That we transfer ourselves to the spiritual world. We get spiritualized, which means the knowledge that what we are taking shelter is actually doing what? It is binding us. Huh? But when we take up to this transcendental knowledge, what is that you read? Next paragraph, yeah, here. Knowledge which is not contaminated by the three modes of nature is called transcendental knowledge. When we take shelter of the transcendental knowledge, then only we can become positioned in our real nature, which is transcendental. And one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. What does it mean? That because we will not be in the limits of karma, whether good or bad. We are not in the influence of material nature. Why? Because we don't even have a material body. When we don't have a material body, then we also don't have a problem at the time of creation or at the time of dissolution. It doesn't matter. Hmm. So here um, we see that the Lord is first of all assuring that we will get similar uh, transcendental nature, naturally like the Lord. One acquires qualitative equality. This is very important. It doesn't mean that is it means that we will become another Lord? No, we will only restore ourselves to our original state. The original state is that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We are the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. We will come to that original position. We will come to that original stage where we can happily engage ourselves in the service of the Lord. At the moment, what we are doing is we are turning our back and we are enjoying ourselves. We are serving ourselves. We are serving others. And in all this, what we are doing is we are just caught up. Whereas when we take shelter of this knowledge and apply it and with a discipline and determination execute them, then what is happening is we come to this point that we will remind ourselves uh, who we actually are and where we actually belong and what we are supposed to do. And that is what is the Lord saying. And when the Lord is mentioning that, yeah, you will attain uh, like me, it means that qualitative. One acquires qualitative equality with the Supreme Person of Godhead, uh, but not quantitative. So we are eternal servants and it means eternal. It's not like, okay, now I'm here very small, but one day when I'm becoming big devotee, or one when I understand that I'm not this, I will become God. That's not. It is only freedom from birth and death, yeah, because we are not caught up in this material world, and one does not lose his identity as individual soul. So there is also no question of merging. It is not the concept of uh, we have this body because we wanted to enjoy. We have this body because we have to suffer. And after all this is over, then we go back to our into the Lord. Yeah, no, yeah, that's not going to happen. Why? Because we are eternally part and parcel of the Supreme God. And then knowledge. This is very important. In this, we are mentioning about what in the material world, whatever knowledge we get is contaminated by the three modes of material nature. And this is our problem. Our problem is we are taking shelter of that knowledge which will bind us in this world. So the courses that are offered, uh, the curriculum that is provided in the universities, in the colleges, in the schools, everywhere, we are not at all interested in understanding the knowledge which is transcendental knowledge. What is transcendental knowledge? Looks like it is from the Lord. Shrutis and Smritis. Which schools are teaching that? Uh, we don't even know what is the meaning of Shruti and Smriti, at least coming out from school, right? So, but if we are asked about something else, yeah, we can crack any kind of puzzle that is given. Our IQ is advanced, EQ is advanced, so many things. But we don't even know the basics of that knowledge which can free us. Why? Because there are so many people who are bombarding with a lot of knowledge because they create knowledge. hmm, And then I'm working in Vodafone where I'm working for Vodafone Identity in that. Yeah. So I think in most of the companies we heard, what is the oil? Oil is data is the oil. When a service is used by a customer, uh, then there's a lot of data. So once upon a time, people start thinking, wow, data is the oil, and then we need to find a lot of analytics, data analytics. I think even still today, data engineers are in demand. Yeah. We want people who can really understand the jigsaw puzzle of a lot of data that is coming, how to put it such a way that I can make best of it. Isn't it? Yeah. People want it. People want to know how to make use of the data. And we are so advanced. There is sometimes chat GPTs, artificial intelligence, and so many recommendations, proposals that come up, which says we can do this, we can do that, all this, and then we think this is advancement. But Krishna is saying, whatever the knowledge that is based on material nature, uh, it is contaminated by three modes of material nature. The reason why a person is acquiring all this data is not because he want to open charitable organization and serve people. No, he's gathering this data to exploit you. Which age group you belong to? What are your tastes? What are on what page you have spent how much time? So that the ad that will hit you should make best of it. So in that way, I think someone needs to go on mute. So in that way, what is happening is that a lot of So, and this is what in the purport Prabhupada is mentioning, the material world and whatever knowledge we get is contaminated by the three modes of material nature. And sometimes we come across some books which are very nice. What do you call? Feel good books, self-teaching books, self-healing books. So many books are there, right? All these are useless. All these are useless. Why? Because they will not give us the supreme perfection. These books can maybe give you some temporary relief, but this relief is not itself everything. So here we see that we need to take shelter of what? Transcendental knowledge. As soon as one is situated in that transcendental knowledge, he is in the same platform as a supreme person. Those who have no knowledge of spiritual sky hold that after being freed from the middle activity of the middle form, this spiritual identity becomes formless without any variegatedness. Uh, some people think, hmm, okay, after becoming free, then oh no, why should I go to the spiritual world after all? A lot of varieties here. What is there? I don't even know. Hmm. There is something, or maybe there is no variegatedness there. But the transcendental knowledge is defined here, which is not contaminated. First thing. Even if someone is coming up with some crazy book which titles about esoteric or about mystic, nothing. If it is man-made, it's waste. The second thing is the knowledge of knowing oneself. If we take a book, it should be to know our own self. Huh? And then the when we have no such opportunity to have these books, we can't simply say, okay, there is no book, let me take any book. Huh? The lack of this knowledge of spiritual sky, what will happen? They think liberation means spiritual identity becomes formless and without variegatedness. This is our problem because we don't know what happens, what is spiritual sky looking like. We think that no, uh, after liberation I will have no formless, and the concept of the real knowledge is what form. Huh? Why? Because in spiritual world there is full of variegatedness, uh, variety, just like material world. In the spiritual, actually, the material world is a replica of what? Of the spiritual world. Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakam. Uh, so in that way, the spiritual world has a wide variety of variegatedness. In spiritual sky, one attains the spiritual form activities of the real knowledge. The spiritual world is full of spiritual activities. It is not like okay, after going there, there is nothing. Oh, because there is nothing, there are no activities, there is no difference. There is nothing of a variety. Uh, uh, no, it is. It has variegatedness. It has a lot of activities. It is said a step one does is actually a dance, and a word one speaks is a song. There is ample amount of services that one can render to the Supreme Lord, and the atmosphere is uncontaminated. And what is the means to attain such knowledge? What is that? One who thus develops uh, to obtain such knowledge, one must develop all the spiritual qualities. That is the qualification. It can't just come to us when we are still in the uh, modes of material nature. We should develop all the spiritual qualities that are required, and then benefit of such qualities. What happens? He is not affected by creation and destruction of material nature. Yeah. Any questions here? Or is it clear?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I think, this was a very, very, 14th chapter was very, informative, because, I think this also probably might form the basis for our Vishishta Advaita and other tattvas, right, Prabhuji? Because in Shankaracharya's thing, it said that Advaita philosophy, it said everybody is one and same. But here it is clearly said that whatever, things we do, we are always different from the Supreme Lord. Maybe that was my understanding. I don't know if I'm wrong, or maybe
No,
these
that's
are,
right.
yes.
I'm not able to see it. Yeah, there we go. Now and then there's some surprise. Anyway, sorry. Please go ahead. Yeah, I understand. So this is very, very important point that you have mentioned. Let me once stop it. Yeah. Okay, now I can. Okay, now I share again. So here, this is the importance of acquiring this history knowledge. And then, can someone read this further?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I can do it, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Mam yonir mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyam sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Translation: the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the birth of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Purport: this is an explanation of the world. Everything that takes place is due to the combination of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the body and the spirit soul. The combination of material nature and the living entity is made possible by the Supreme God Himself. The Mahatattva is the total cause of the total cosmic manifestation, and that total substance of the material cause, in which there are three modes of nature, is sometimes called Brahman. The Supreme Personality impregnates that total substance, and thus innumerable universes become possible. This total material substance, the Mahatattva, is Jayate. The Supreme Person impregnates that Brahman with the seeds of the living entities. The 24 elements, beginning from earth,
One
water.
line here. The total material substance.
Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah. This total material substance, the Mahatattva, is described as Brahman in the Vedic literature, Mukunda Upanishad, 1.19.
Mundaka Upanishad, sorry.
Mundaka, okay. Tasmat yeta Brahma Nama Rupam Ananam Sajayate. The Supreme Person impregnates that Brahman with the seeds of the living entities. The 24 elements, beginning from earth, water, fire, and air, are all material energy, and they constitute what is called Mahad Brahma, or the great Brahman, the material nature. As explained in the 7th chapter, beyond this, there is another superior nature, the living entity. Into material nature, the supreme nature is mixed by the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thereafter all living entities are born of this material nature. The scorpion lays its eggs in piles of rice, and sometimes it is said that the scorpion is born out of rice. But the rice is not the cause of the scorpion. Actually, the eggs were laid by the mother. Similarly, material nature is not the cause of the birth of living entities. The seed is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they only seem to come out as products of material nature. Thus, every living entity, according to his past activities, has a different body created by this material nature, so that the entity can enjoy or suffer according to his past deeds. The Lord is the cause of all the manifestations of living entities in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this also helps us to understand that where is that? Yeah, sorry. So this is helping us to understand who is our mother. Yeah, in this sense, we can see that uh, everything that takes place is due to the combination of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, nature and the Lord of the nature, the body and the spirit soul. So this combination of material nature and the living entity is made possible by the Supreme Lord. Yeah, we know that Mahat Tattva, that is the what do you call this, pradhana that becomes manifested and into 24 elements, and these is what is material creation, in which there are three modes of nature. Is uh, that is the identity of the material nature. Hmm. And Krishna, yeah, Prabhupada is referring to this apareyam itastva anyan, anyam. So there is also my superior energy, Prakritim Viddhime Param, Shiva Bhuta Mahabaho, Yedam Dharyate Jagat. So the Lord is saying that, oh Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material nature. So the material nature is created with a purpose. The Lord has created material nature, which is inferior nature. And then he's saying that it's not that only the creation is there. Hmm? I usually give the example of a construction. If someone is building a building or a house or a mansion or a palace or a castle, whatever it could be, it is not just going to be built and then kept it like that, unless, what is it called? We are creating it for film cities, yeah, or studios where people not going to live there but may make use of it. So the planets are also all the planets that are created. In fact, everything that is created, hmm, it is that this is inferior energy, and then there will be a superior energy that is going to make use of it. Hmm. The living entities belong to the superior nature. We belong to superior energy, and the inferior energy is what? It is the matter, which is made of what? It is made of earth, fire, air, mm, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. Uh, and then um, in that way, we usually living entity has a tendency to lord over, which means a living entity is superior energy. And here we see the total substance, Mahat Tattva, is described as Brahman in the Vedic literature. Munduk Upanishad, what is that? Tasmat etad Brahmanama Rupa Annam cha Jayate. What does it mean? So, Brahman with the seeds of living entity. So, the Supreme Lord impregnates that Brahman with the seeds of living entity. So, Brahman, which is a material creation, here is impregnated by what? Living entities. The 24 elements, beginning with earth, water, fire, air, are all material energy, and they constitute Mahad Brahman, or the great Brahman, the material nature. Hmm. And yeah, the seventh chapter is referring to that. The Lord is saying that, hey, it's not just everything material world is created, but it will be kind of used by whom? Superior energy. Into material nature, the superior nature is mixed by the will of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And thereafter, all living entities are born of this material nature. So once this impregnation is happening, then what are we seeing? The question may come, okay, the world is created. I don't know whether it is a big bang or some bang, but finally the world is created. And then what is happening? Someone is there, and because of the union of male and female, then offsprings are born, and from the offsprings, again offsprings are born, And in that way, there is a whole, what do we call this, a family tree. Yeah, we can trace. And we can say, where is the Lord? Here in this verse, Krishna is saying that, hey, I am the one who is impregnating this universe, and then I am the one who is, by my will, and the living entities are brought into this material world. The example given here, Prabhupada is giving, the scorpion lays its eggs in piles of rice, and sometimes it is said that scorpion is born out of rice. So this is our understanding. This is also something like, if we ask a kid, I don't know, someone, um, it in fact happened. Someone was telling that, okay, where do you get money from? And the guy said, from bank. Hmm? Of course, yeah, the money is in the bank, but from where is this money coming from? Hmm? It is minted somewhere, it is authorized somewhere, and after this note becomes legitimate note, then it comes to the bank. Will the child know it, Satish Prabhu? Hmm? Nothing. He would just say, hey, if we want to buy something, if you ask, hey, where do we have money from? He says, yeah, you can get it from the bank. Or if we ask, where do we get milk from? Hmm? What do the kids say? Yeah, we get it from supermarket, isn't it? Hmm? Sridhar Prabhu, what do you say? These are just few examples what we come across. The people might think we have no clue, and then with our guesswork, with our speculation, we may come up with something, and then it appears logical until someone come and disproves it. Yeah, they will come and say, hey, come on, in the rice, the scorpion eggs are there. It's not the rice which is creating the scorpion eggs. So similarly, material nature is not the cause of birth of living entities. Visually, we see that, okay, the mother is a supreme being, Adi Shakti, and then from her all everything came. But who is impregnating the mother? There is Supreme Father to a Supreme Mother. And when we say this mother is the material nature, it's impregnated by the Supreme Lord. Thus, every living entity, according to his past activities, has a different body created by this material nature, so that the entity can enjoy or suffer according to his past deeds. The Lord is the cause of all manifestations of living entities in this material world. So, who is the cause? Lord. It is not. I could create rains with some acid rains. I could create a rain by adjusting some wind uh, and heavying up the clouds. All these things we are creating, and we saying that we are the creators. But even who has created us? For that matter, who has created the material nature? It is the Supreme Lord. Yep. Any questions? Hmm?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just not a question, but just a thought, Prabhuji. So, it is very nice to see how the different sampradayas are, really aligned and give the same message. It was like an eureka moment for me today, Prabhuji, because generally in, Sri Sampradaya, we say the Lord Varadaraja himself told 6 words that formed the basis for Ramanujacharya, because he was not very happy with the Advaita Tattva as told by his guru. So Lord says Aham eva Parama Tattvam, which means like Lord Vishnu is or Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Darshanam Veda eva, meaning like Veda is the truth. Whatever you do, the Jivatma and Paramatma are different. So I think everything is resonating here. And it is said that Ramanujacharya, developed further on this, hearing from the Lord through his guru, from the Vedas, they say Uttama Veda. I forgot that thing, Prabhuji. So from there, basically Adi Shankara is also right because he interpreted some part of Veda, while Ramanujacharya interpreted other part of Vedas. But Bhagavad Gita also kind of resonates. So really, this chapter is going to be really very much valuable, Prabhuji. I can see the importance of chapter 14, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Yep. Anyone has a question before we go to the next verse? Okay, then someone would like to read this, a small one. Okay, I thought I will read it, right? Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti ya tasam brahma mahad yonir aham bija pradapita. So here what is the Lord saying? I am the seed. Oh, I need to read the translation part. So it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are combinations of material nature and spiritual nature. Such living entities are seen not only on this planet but on every planet, even on the highest where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth, there are living entities, even within the water and within the fire. All these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed giving process. The purport is that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds. Once again, verses. Sarva Yonishu, Yoni, yeah, the uh, the source of creation. Yeah. So there is this Sarva Yonishu in all the species of life. Murta, forms. Murti, we call Murtaya Sambhavantiya. How are they formed? Tasam Brahma Mahad Yonir Aham Bija Pita. So this gives us a clear understanding. There is no confusion because the Lord, who is absolute truth, He will not give us uh, only a partial understanding. He is going to give us the full, complete understanding. And what is He saying? He is saying that on earth, even in water or fire, even in fire, yeah, we may think that fire has no life. No, even in the fire, there are, in the sun, planet, there are species. So the species all over are pervading. And who is the seed giving father? Lord is saying, I am the seed giving father. Even on the highest planet where Brahma is situated, the living entities are existing everywhere. And what is the process? What is the process given here? It is that all these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed giving process. Okay, we'll go to the next verse then.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Welcome back.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sattvam Rajasatamaiti Gunaha Prakriti Sambhavaha Nibaddhananti Mahabaho Dehe Dehinam Avyayam. Material nature consists of three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by three modes. Purport. The living entity, because he is transcendental, has nothing to do with this material nature. Still, because he has become conditioned by the material world, he is acting under the spell of the three modes of nature, material nature. Because living entities have different kinds of bodies, in terms of the different aspects of nature, they are induced to act according to that nature. This is the cause of varieties of happiness and distress. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So here, the Lord is telling how this material nature works. huh? And he is saying the material nature consists of what? Three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And the living entity, hmm, when he comes in contact with nature, then he is definitely coming in contact with these three things. Just like if we put a hand into a jar of milk, then what is happening? Hmm? Then our hand, hello, is touched by this milk, and then we are affected by this, right? So let's say, okay, maybe milk is not so. Let's put a hand in a what do you call this? A tin of paint. What is happening? Yeah, if you put in a tin of paint which is golden color paint, silver color paint, or even iron color paint, and accordingly we can see that okay, the hand which is completely pure before keeping inside into this tin, and now it's contaminated, isn't it? Hmm? And here it's very important. Who is pushing us to keep our hand into the tin? Hmm? Yeah, he is spoiling his hand by using his independence. Despite he has the desire for independent enjoyment. Yeah, how can we eat with a paint in our hand? No, we can't eat, right? So one can maintain the purity of the hand, but because one desires uh, to enjoy, oh, isn't it so nice to have this golden paint on our hand and silver paint or iron paint and whatever? And then what is happening? His existence itself is subjected to strict control by the modes of material nature. We don't know what kind of, if it was just milk, we can wash our hands so easily. If it is paint, it takes some time, isn't it? Sindhu Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
But did we know how strong is this paint? We don't know. Sometimes there is this what you call quick fix, right? Just in 1 second, yeah, you can stick anything. And we don't know. We just put a drop on our finger and then we bring two fingers together and then it's, uh, and it will take quite some time to really get rid of it. So this material nature is not ordinary nature. Why? Because this is also created by the Supreme Lord. This is created by the Supreme Lord. The living entity, because he is transcendental, has nothing to do with the material nature. Still, because he has become conditioned by the material nature, he is acting under the spell of three modes of material nature. Because living entities have different kinds of bodies in terms of different aspects of nature, they are induced to act according to the nature. This is the cause of varieties of happiness and distress. So usually, if we want to know why I'm suffering, why all these problems are, what is the cause? What is the cause? People may say, "Hey, Lord is the cause." Yeah, in one way, it is the fact, right? Lord has created. If He didn't create, then there is no question of all this. If there is no paint box or paint in, right, then there is no problem. Uh, but that is not the fact. The fact is that because we wanted, there is always independence. The Lord has created not for me. Sindhu Mataji, He didn't create all the problems for you to enjoy, but because you wanted it, you have taken it.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We didn't like it, uh, but we didn't know that we won't like it. We thought we will like it, all these things. But after some time, what happened? We started thinking, oh, I didn't know that this is the consequences of it. And then what will happen? Then slowly we come to a stage, okay, let me wash my hand. We wash one time, two times, three times, and then someone will say, hey, if you do this, then you can clean your hand, isn't it? So we need a revival process. We need a knowledge of revival process, and Krishna is telling that how to get rid of all these uh, things that we have created our own. conditioning, how to get free from that. And this verse is saying the causes of varieties of happiness and distress is, in fact, our free independence that we have used it to get caught up in the material nature. Hmm. What is happening? So that is the effect of modes of nature. It's not so easy. It's not so easy. Yeah, thank you. Someone else, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, sorry, Mother.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tatra Sattvam Nirmaltvat Prakash Kamana Mayam Suk Sangen Vadhanati Gyan Saden Chanada. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode becomes conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. The living entities conditioned by material nature are of various types. One is happy, another is very active, and another is helpless. All these types of psychological manifestation are cause of entities conditioned status in nature. How they are differently conditioned is explained in this section of Bhagavad Gita. The mode of goodness is first considered. The effect of developing the mode of goodness in the material world is that one becomes wiser than otherwise conditioned. A man in the mode of goodness is not so much affected by material miseries, and he has a sense of advancement in material knowledge. The representative type is the Brahmana, who is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness. This sense of happiness is due to understanding that in the mode of goodness, one is more or less free from sinful reactions. Actually, in the Vedic literature, it is said that the mode of goodness means greater knowledge and a greater sense of happiness. The difficulty here is that when a living entity is situated in the mode of goodness, he becomes conditioned to feel that he is advanced in knowledge and is better than others. In this way, he becomes conditioned. The best examples are the scientist and the philosopher. Each is very proud of his knowledge, and because they generally improve their living conditions, they feel a sort of material happiness. This sense of advanced happiness in conditioned life makes them bound by the mode of goodness of material nature. As such, they are attracted towards working in the mode of goodness, and as long as they have an attraction for working in that way, they have to take some type of body in the modes of nature. Thus, there is no likelihood of liberation or of being transferred to the spiritual world. Repeatedly, one may become a philosopher, a scientist, or a poet, and repeatedly become entangled in the same disadvantage of birth and death. But due to the illusion of material energy, one thinks that that sort of life is pleasant. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So let's begin to understand the kinds of material nature, what are the effects of it, and what is good. Yeah, after all, here it says that one who is in the mode of goodness, being purer than others, hmm, is illuminating. The mode of goodness is what? It is illuminating, which means then it is throwing us to appreciate what is true knowledge. It frees one from all sinful reaction. Why? Because it's eliminating. Yeah, from the ignorance of darkness. Now we are coming to what? Light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Yeah? Those situated in the mode becomes conditioned. Oh, how is it? How is that? Okay, if someone is in the mode of goodness, he's still conditioned. What kind of conditioning it is? By sense of happiness and knowledge. People who are happy, they think, hey, I'm already happy. I don't want anything. Huh? I am having proper health. I'm having proper facilities. I'm having everything because I'm not harming others. Huh? Law of nature is that if we don't harm others, then yeah, we are also happy. I let you live happy, and you let me be happy, and in that way we both can live happy forever. Isn't it so nice? Huh? What is this? The Ashtanga Yoga, there is Yama and Niyama. So if one is in the platform of Yama and Niyama, what is happening? Yeah, one knows what he should do, and one knows what he should not do. By this, he is not incurring sin. By this, what is happening? He thinks so, but just because if he doesn't create sinful life, doesn't lead a sinful life, doesn't mean that he is free. We come across people, right? So we come across people who are in this uh, state of mind. They want to do welfare to everyone. They want to cause benefit to others, and all these things. So nice, but that desire is always there because he's expecting happiness from it. Because people will say, "Hey, you have done great for me," and then we think, "Oh, let me do a little more great and more great." And what is happening? That becomes a bondage. It becomes a condition. And in the state of illuminated state, he's also having knowledge. And what is the problem with that knowledge? What is happening with that knowledge is that is also conditioning. Because when we have more knowledge, then we think, oh, how to use this knowledge to avoid doing something. It's called Niyama Agraha. Niyama Agraha means is a state where you know what is knowledge, you will also use that knowledge how to avoid doing something. How to, oh, no, 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 I'm not qualified. Oh, no, 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 this is not the right day. It should be done on a Purnami. It should be done on this day. In that way, knowledge can do what? It can spoil our interest to do something to get free. So in this particular here, the purport it's mentioned about the three kinds of modes. One will give happiness, and the other one is through to work, keep us always busy, active, active, active. And the third one is madness, to be always helpless. Nothing I can do. And then uh, the representative type given for one who is in the mode of goodness is who? A Brahman. A Brahman, he is happy because he leads a simple life. A Brahman is happy because he is knowledgeable. So in that way, and the best examples of the Brahmans further in the material world. Oh, come on, these days we don't have Brahmanas, right? Okay, whom can we look up? Oh, scientists, they have a lot of knowledge. Philosophers, they can think, they can spin a thought, and they can speculate. And poets, yeah, they are also in that. In that way, what's happening? They, if we see, yeah, a philosopher knows or a scientist knows that what is um, dangerous. Huh? A scientist knows, okay, when the fusion happens, then there is an explosion. When a fission happens, there is an explosion, and all these things because of that knowledge. Yeah. Uh, uh, he is acquiring knowledge for a purpose, but actually slowly he will move away from that purpose and he starts getting more proud of knowledge because I have this knowledge. Uh, so that's why I have patents on my name. Uh, there is no one else around me who is like that. And that creates what? Bondage. Because we think that we know a lot. And not only that, we become proud of it, we also have a sense of advanced happiness. Uh, because we see, if I keep on doing it, uh, I'll be happy. So, which means let me continue to do it, and then I can maintain happiness. And then and this keeps them in a repeated birth and death cycle. And he feels a sort of, material happiness because of improved living condition. See, so many people are suffering. Oh, once upon a time I was also suffering, but now I have the knowledge how to make best of this material world. I know now the secret. I know the formula how to be happy in all these disaster or what do you call this? All kind of disturbances that I have cracked it. I know the secret. So yeah, then they will continue to live it and and then feel. And then they also, what causes the sense of happiness is because one is more or less free from sinful reactions. I am leading a pure life. Because I am leading a pure life, I will have a happy life, not in this life, in my next life. This is what Shastras are telling. So we tend to think that, yes, this is the topmost topmost thing one should attain. And beyond this, there is nothing else. Ah, I know the formula of living happy in this material world forever. And then there are some books for that. Yeah, one can read if you want. And then um, what is happening ultimately is they do not see that, okay, by being in the mode of goodness, one has come far, far above compared to the mode of passion and ignorance. But if one is not understanding that this is the stepping stone for my liberation, if he doesn't understand that, if he doesn't work out, if he thinks happiness and knowledge both are enough, then he will not liberate. So in that way, mode of goodness is also binding us in. Uh, it's also there is a repeatedly one may become a philosopher, uh, poet, scientist, and repeatedly become entangled in the same disadvantages of birth and death. So, if one is in the mode of goodness, sattva guna, if he is fully ripened in sattva guna, still, if he doesn't desire to get free from this and liberate himself, that this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, that this material world is a temporary thing. And also, not only that, whatever so seemingly as happiness, yeah, after all, there is a cost for this happiness. It's not just coming like that. I have to do a lot. I have to sacrifice a lot. I have to cheat. Okay, no, I'm not cheating. Come on. Uh, all these things are still making one to take birth again. Yeah, there is a sense here. Any questions? Anyone want to add anything? Hmm? Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? Yeah. Usually we think that mode of goodness is already so nice, right? Mode of goodness also, Krishna is saying, hey, there is a trap. There is a trap also in the mode of goodness. What is that? Feeling puffed up with knowledge and enjoying happiness and thinking that is eternal happiness. Okay. Next, who would like to read? Yeah.
मेरिट् प्रभु
Yeah, yeah.
रजो रगात्मकं विधि तृष्णासङ्ग समुद्भवं तन् निबध्नन्ति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनाम्. Could you please scroll? Translation: The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. Purport: The mode of passion is characterized by the attraction between man and woman. Woman has attraction for man and man has attraction for woman. This is called the mode of passion. And when the mode of passion is increased, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. For sense gratification, a man in the mode of passion wants some honor in society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children and wife and house. There are the products of the mode of passion. These are the products of the mode of passion. As long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that he becomes associated with the fruits of his activities and thus becomes bound by such activities. In order to please his wife, children, and society, and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the world, the whole material world, is more or less in the mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the can you scroll little bit? Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion? Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gaur Bhagwan. Yeah. So, Rajo Ragatmakam. This Ragatmakam is too much, right? We usually have Ragatmika Bhakti. But here we are saying Rajo Ragatmaka. This is saying mode of passion born out of what? Desire or lust. Whatever is born from desire and lust, it will bind us. Hmm? What is the binding here? What is the kind of rope? The previous rope was what? Happiness and knowledge. We are just caught up by those two ropes if we are in a mode of goodness. In the mode of passion, what is the rope here? The rope is desire and attachment. Hmm? Characteristics. What is that? Attraction between man and woman. And the purport Prabhupada is emphasizing that people who are hmm, passionate, we say, oh no, passion is all about, get the work done, get the work done. I have passion. Yeah, of course. In interviews also we say passion. I am passionate to achieve the goals. Yeah, but actually the passion, if we talk, is characterized by the attraction between man and woman. Okay. How to understand this? Yeah, it is because the desire. And of course, there are different kinds of passion also. It doesn't mean that there are no other desires. One may have desire to advance in career, one may have desire to achieve something. Uh, uh, yeah, but strongest of all this passion is the attraction between man and woman. Man has attraction for women, and woman has attraction for man. This is the mode of passion. And when the mode of passion is increased, one develops a hankering for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. So this desire, if we talk about the mode of goodness, he thinks, hey, this is dangerous. But in the mode of passion, we think, hey, let us play with the fire. Let us play with the fire. After all, I know how to handle the fire. We may think, okay, passion, okay, passion is fine as long as I'm not injuring myself. Huh? Let us play with the fire. And for sense gratification, a man is in the mode of passion wants some honor in society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife, and house. Is it not what all the apps in the world are doing towards attaining these things? Right? How can I have uh, um honor in the society? Hmm, uh, have you come across these kind of what is it called some challenges on apps? Yeah, they say, hey, I took up a challenge for 40 days. I took up a challenge 30 days. I did that. I was like this before. No, I'm like this. Okay, if you're like that, why you want to show it to others? No, I want to inspire others. Is it really inspiring others? No, there is also showing off. No, we are a community. We are a community where we want to help others. That is the reason I'm sharing what happened. I am very humble. This is what it means to play with fire. What does it mean? We may think that, hey, initially it is only for helping others, but actually what we are doing is we are promoting ourselves. We want some honor, we want some recognition. And then when someone invites onto the stage, hey, you are nominated, you are awarded, you are. No, I am doing it all for the people. No. Why to take honors? Hmm. Anyway, so that is driven by what? Mode of passion. So if a person is working very hard, 20 hours a day, the passion is behind something. It could be his own name and fame, or it could be for his nation, for his community, doing something, and he wants to be have happy family, and with nice children, wife, house. What does it mean? So much investment goes into house, so much investment goes into car, so much investment goes into security. Uh, from where is this coming? Uh, Satish Prabhu, I think you have a money plant in back of your yard, right? Where whenever you want money, you take a leaf and then go to a bank, and then bank will give you euros. Hmm?
Guruji.
No, you need to work very hard, isn't it? A money plant. Hmm. Some people will make money out of that money plant anyway, but that money plant doesn't give money. We have to do what? We have to work. Fruit workers. There are fruit workers. Why? We want fruit of it. We want to get result of it. That's why we give our best. We work hard day and night to maintain our family. After all, wife is our life. Hmm? Children are our better life. And in that way, what is happening? A person is becoming quite passionate to do this. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in a mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced. How are we measuring? Huh? How are we measuring the success? We are measuring whether a country has launched, what is it called? A satellite in the sky. Yeah. Yeah, with that, I'm able to predict rainfall. I'm able to predict the weather. I'm able to predict the, what is it called? Social security. Whether other countries are, um, how are they visualizing? How are they not visualizing? How to be vigilant? So in that way, a lot of advancement. We say the modern science advancement. Oh, let me make my country a digital country. Uh, After all, then there is no shortage of access to the most important knowledge. What is the use of that knowledge when it can't liberate? Uh, what is the part from?
Yes, Prabhu. So,
Do you know this? What do we call? Few years back, if you see in India, yeah, there were not all these locking systems, right? The doors didn't have locks. Now we are advanced that we have even locks. Now we call it advanced or the other way.
what is that, Prabhu? I could not follow. What is the locking system in doors?
Yeah, in those days, if we go back to many years back, yeah, the houses need not be locked with a mm, key or a lock. The doors need not be locked. Why? Because people were not stealing, robbing like now.
Yeah.
And now we say, hey, modern advancement is we have a lock which has 12 lever, 13 lever, whatever, all a code, a key, biometrics. I'm telling to you because we are from identity background, right?
Yeah. Now we have multi-layer locking system with multi-factor authentication.
Yeah, 2FA, 3FA, MFA. All this nonsense. Yeah? So are we saying this is advanced? We created a problem. We are not solving that problem. We are finding ways, other ways. Yeah? We don't want to change people. We want to change the world, because we can't change the people. Because people are not so easy to change, because there is no knowledge to change people. What is possible to change is security system. Yeah. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness, isn't it? So that there were proper gurukuls, there were proper Vedic knowledge, there were access to the Vedic knowledge to understand what did Chanakya Pandit say? Others' property is like a poison. Hmm? Others' wealth is poison. Now, others' wealth, doesn't matter. Actually, if I have the money, I can, I don't care about others. And if there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion? Isn't it so interesting? So, when in the people who are good itself, there is no scope for them to get liberated. And what to talk about passion? They are even more busy. If you go and give one Bhagavad Gita book to someone in the mode of good passion, what happens? He says, I don't have time. It's with due honor and respect I can keep this book if this book will give me some more material advancement. Hmm? Srikant Prabhu, what do you say? I think I've seen you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, Prabhuji. Yeah, I think it is how Western world thinks, right? Identity for them is main thing. Unfortunately, we lost our knowledge thing, and hence we are into their Padma Vibha, let me put it in this way, and we don't know how to come back. Perhaps maybe this is a way to come back.
Yeah. We are, it's not only we don't know, we don't want to try out. When we talk about Bhagavad Gita, if we go and ask, hey, please read Bhagavad Gita for 40 days, please attend these classes, please expand your knowledge. They say, no, we don't have time. We say, come on, at least weekend. They say, at least weekend. Weekend is so important for us because Monday to Friday, I'm quite occupied at work. I have to take care of my family. I have to take care of my children. I have to take care of my own, what do you call this? Recuperation, that I can again start working Monday to Friday. So Saturday and Sunday are my most important days. I can't give it to anyone. Isn't it? But what are we using for it? After all, we say Saturday and Sunday are so important. Are we using it properly? No. That's what is happening. Hemagori Mataji. And now we come to the third one. Who would like to read the third one? Most interesting one. We don't admit we are in the mode of ignorance, but we are in the mode of ignorance. Otherwise, we would have understood that, these are not good. Who would like to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. I think you have already covered, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Let's give chance to others if they come up.
Can I read, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Samadhi Mataji.
Yes. Tamastva ajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nitrabis tan nibadhanati bharata. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is a delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Purport. In this verse, the specific application of the word tu is very significant. This means that the mode of ignorance is a very peculiar qualification of the embodied soul. The mode of ignorance is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what, but the mode of ignorance is just the opposite. Everyone under the spell of the mode of ignorance becomes mad, and the madman cannot understand what is what. Instead of making advancement, one becomes degraded. The definition of mode of ignorance is stated in the Vedic literature. Vastu yatha atmya jnana varakam viparya jnana janakam tama. Under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand a thing as it is. For example, everyone can see that his grandfather has died and therefore he will also die. Man is mortal. The children that he conceives will also die, so death is sure. Still, people are madly accumulating money and working very hard all day and night, not caring for the eternal spirit. This is madness. In their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding. Such people are very lazy when they are invited to associate for spiritual understanding. They are not much interested. They are not even active like the man who is controlled by the mode of passion. Thus, another symptom of one embedded in the mode of ignorance is that he sleeps more than is required. 6 hours of sleep is sufficient, but a man in the mode of ignorance sleeps at least 10 or 12 hours a day. Such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxicants and sleeping. These are the symptoms of the person conditioned by the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Chittamani. Yeah, the third class is, as I said, very, very interesting. Tamasta Ajnanam Jam Vidhi Mohanam Sarvadehinam Pramadalasya Nidrabhis Tan Nibadnani Bharata. So there are two wonderful qualities here. What is it? So the result of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep. And one who is sleeping, he has no time to enlighten himself, illuminate himself. Why? Because he's always in sleep. Maybe he's waiting for a wonderful dream that can change his life, but that will not happen. Because the one who is in the mode of ignorance, his dreams are also crazy dreams. So sleep is not a means to become free from suffering. And then the other one is the madness. What is the interesting thing is, when a Brahman is saying, when he sees a one who is in the mode of ignorance, hey, you are a fool. And a person who is a fool, if he sees a Brahman doing something, and if a fool says the Brahman, hey, you are a fool, who is right? Sagar Prabhu? Might be there usually. Let me check. Others?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sagar Prabhu? Who is right?
Sorry, I missed your question.
Yeah. The question is, if a Brahman is saying someone that, hey, you are a fool, and a fool is saying a Brahman that, hey, you are a fool, who is right?
Both are right.
Yeah, Sridhar Brahma. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can say. Want to say something?
Me. Okay. Yeah, I think both are wrong in this case.
Both are wrong in this case. So we have option 1 Both are wrong. Option 2, both are right. And the other one, anyone else? Thank you. Hmm.
Can I say one more sentence to my why I said no?
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, because the question itself is like there's no right or wrong, right? It depends upon situation, perspectives, and all those things. Until unless they both share the common understanding or common say communication methodology, all those things. I think there is no correct or there is no wrong. So that is why, and both cannot say that you are wrong, or you are correct. You are correct.
Okay. Okay. I was expecting, yeah, this is a perspective topic, right? Yeah. It's like all depends case to case. It depends. No, a Brahman, we are talking about a real Brahman who is not just what do we call this? Okay, so-called Brahmins who are born by birth. If a Brahman, he knows the Shastras, he also knows what is right, what is wrong, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu.
And because he knows right, when he says it, it will be right. Whereas a fool, because he doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, what he thinks about the Brahman, and he says it is wrong, it is wrong. Why? Because he doesn't know what is right. Right? Sagar Prabhu, Sagar Prabhu, no? No, don't agree.
Yeah, can you repeat again? It is slightly complicated. Your like, your view. Can you
No,
repeat again,
what I
please?
was saying is the person who is right, when he says right, it will be right. A Brahman, because he understands what is right, what is wrong, he has this uh, the knowledge because he's in the mode of illuminating, in the mode of goodness. A person who is in the mode of goodness, when he says something that is right, yeah, it is right. Because his judgment, his understanding, his evaluation, everything is based on knowledge.
Yeah.
So if he's saying a person is not doing correct, he's a fool because he is referring from the knowledge basis. So he's saying, yeah, which will be right. Whereas a fool, he has no knowledge, but he is thinking that he is right, and he's telling the Brahman, hey, what you're doing is wrong. The probability of it, or actually the chances of him to be wrong, is very, very high, or 100%, because he is just telling out of his own whims, out of his own right level of right. He's thinking this is right, but it is wrong because the Brahman. Why will he do wrong? No.
You can share my view also.
Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe I wanted to take a different example.
Yeah.
And from this Bhagavad Gita, sorry, from not from Bhagavad Gita, but from this picture behind you, right? The whole war started because Dhritarashtra, yeah, Dronacharya, who is India, who is a Brahman, who knows everything, who taught both sides, Pandavas and Kauravas. And another day, he's doing the wrong thing because he gave something, some word, whatever those things. I don't remember, but he sided on the wrong side. And then he is even ready to kill even his students as a teacher. So is he right or wrong? I don't know. Then Krishna comes and says that he does all those things. He even goes alone to all those places, to this kingdom, and then to in front of Bhishma, Dronacharya, Dhritarashtra, all those people, and says that please do only this thing. We don't care anything more. But no one stand up there. If this person, or if we say that some common person is there, so that he can say that Dronacharya, that you are doing wrong. So in this case, even the people who are very experienced like Dronacharya, who even be like a very good teacher, who are a very good teacher, sorry, and then depend upon some situations, until unless people know these situations, and we don't know, right, who is good, who is wrong, and what they're saying is right or what they're saying is not wrong, is wrong. is wrong, or whether even silent, we don't know it is right or wrong, right? So that is where Krishna comes, and then Krishna even teaches the Bhagavad Gita for Arjuna, saying that yes, raising hand against your teacher is wrong, but that is not your duty. Your duty is your duty. So that is, yeah. I stop here.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, we are talking about a Brahmin. Yeah, I mean, my point is actually not. I was speaking a Brahmin because he's more in the mode of goodness. And now coming to your example of Dronacharya, yeah. So he was in the mode of goodness, and a person may not be always predominated by mode of goodness, because the last verse of this chapter, which will say, these three modes are fighting. Uh, I think not the last, I think 17th verse. These three modes are fighting within a human, and sometimes mode of goodness is dominating, sometimes mode of passion is dominating, and sometimes mode of ignorance is dominating. Okay. So in the case of Dronacharya, there was this time when he was predominated by mode of passion, and yeah, and he was in a helpless situation. Yeah, yeah. Of course, one Krishna is not going to forgive for that, because when Draupadi was disrobed, yeah, then Dronacharya was present, Bhishma was present, Kripacharya was present. Yeah, everyone were present when that happened. So because they were silent, and they have they have not just got up and say, hey, I'm in the mode of goodness, yeah, and then listen to me, and the fool thought, hey, sit down. That's what I mean to tell them. Did Duryodhan hear to Dronacharya? No. Yeah. Did Duryodhan listen to Bhishma? No. So the point, I mean, let me then phrase my question is, one who is in the mode of goodness, rather I took an example of a Brahmin, but my point was, if someone is in the mode of goodness and he is telling other person is wrong, yeah, because there is this, because he's not influenced by all this passion or ignorance, he's in the mode of goodness, he knows what is right, what is wrong, because he's situated in knowledge. And if such a person tells so and so thing is wrong, then it is wrong. And when a foolish person, when he says something, no, this is not right, this is wrong, the chances for that to be wrong is very high. Why? Because he has no knowledge. And that is the differentiating factor between a person in the mode of goodness and a person who is in the mode of ignorance. Yeah. But usually, because we are not having knowledge, we will take a middle role. What is that middle role? It depends. Isn't it? Sagar Prabhu, as you said, both are right. Yeah. Or we could say, as Srikant Prabhu was saying, both are wrong. It all depends on the context. It all depends. What is the context? Are they in the mode of goodness, or are they in the mode of passion, or are they in the mode of ignorance? That is what is the real understanding, or the influence, how we are influenced by this nature. And this is what is the mechanism that Lord has designed. And Lord is saying, if someone is in the mode of goodness, what happens? If someone is in mode of ignorance, what happens? And here in the purport, Prabhupada is giving us, yeah, what is happening is, if someone is in the mode of ignorance, I mean, all of us always think, right, we are right. Maybe because of sometimes we hear, no, no, I genuinely accept that I am not right always. Yeah. But when it comes to really acting, when it comes to really doing, then we say, no, no, what I'm doing is right. Yeah, let me do it like that. No, we don't consult someone, right? Are we consulting someone? The scriptures are saying that if we don't know, what should we do? We have to take shelter of sadhu, shastra, and guru. Do we have a guru? Come on, what are you talking? Guru? Huh? Gurus these days are exploiting us. We don't want to take shelter of gurus. Okay, are we taking shelter of sadhus, saintly people? In Kali Yuga, in 21st century, can we find sadhus? Oh, that's not difficult. That's also very difficult. Okay, Shastras. Are we referring to the books? Are we trying to understand the books? No, everyone is writing their own book. The same Bhagavad Gita, 10 people writing 10 different things. How can we understand what is Shastra? That is our situation. Huh? And because we don't have this clarity, then what we do is we give up all this process, and we are happy to live in mode of ignorance, because we think that, oh, I don't have a solution. Let me enjoy like how I want. Let me create my own world in the mode of passion, because science is showing what is the right way to enjoy. Uh, Once upon a time, there were, um, uh, I don't know, someone has to go on mute. Don't know who is that? Yeah, Dinath Prabhu, can you please keep looking and then mute? So world population has become a big problem these days. The population, people are increasing, and then there's a lot of problem of starvation. There is no food, and let's do what? Let's introduce contraception. Let's advance science. Yeah, if you take this pill, then no more kids. If you take this pill, then abortion is guaranteed. If you go this operation or surgery, then so in that way we are tackling the population how? Through all the advancement. And then we claim we are advanced. But the Lord is saying that, yeah, no, I am providing ample resources for all the facilities that are needed for mankind. What are we doing? Huh? Then there is people who are exploiting. There are people who say, no, 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 I want to save rice not only for me, not for my family, for my community, not only for my community, not for this generation, for many generations. And then I what do you call extrapolate the cost of rice, which could be just 1 rupee or 2 rupees, making it so on demand that I will release it for 120 rupees in the market. And then, of course, when these kind of things happen, then starvation happens. Why? Because it's not the Lord who is messing up here, right? It's people who are messing up in the mode of passion and ignorance, and that is the cause of the problem. And not only that, then one may say, "Hey, no, 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 no. Come on, in 2023, did rains fall on time? Did the seasons come on time? No, the Lord is not facilitating all these things. Who is creating global warming? It is the mankind who is doing it, right? So now and then we say, no, no, this global warming is coming because whatever the system that Lord has created is not functioning properly. No, we have done the deforestation. We have occupied land. Now the question will come on. We people have to live somewhere, and the on the planet Earth we don't have so much space, so we are expanding. The poor forests are the people are the things that are affected. The animals are affected. We don't care about animals. Come on, animals are our food after all. Most important thing is how we survive. Even Shastras are saying, if you take Quran is saying, yeah, eating animals is okay. Yeah, these are actually created for us to eat. Yeah, all this is on what? All this philosophy is coming from mode of passion and ignorance. People who are in the mode of goodness, they don't want to create new subject. There is enough subject already created by the Lord. When the Lord created this world, He also created the manual. He also created a guide how to live in peace and harmony. Isn't it? Srigal Prabhu? Hmm? Yeah, the Lord has provided everything. But because we don't want to turn to them, because it's too difficult a bit, how much can I take austerities? It means that I will not get full facility to enjoy. I have to compromise because our greed is increasing. Because our greed increases, because of that, what we do is we don't want to follow the rules. Yeah. Now I was saying what happens because of all the effects of mode of passion and ignorance. We think that we have advanced a lot, but all these things are creating problems. And if you see, I was talking right from uh, population. If people say population is a big problem, because of overpopulation. What is overpopulation? There is nothing like overpopulation. There, the Lord has provided all facilities, but people, out of greed, we have made the cost of grains, cost of vegetation, everything so expensive. Yeah. So the Lord is not making it. It is we who make it difficult. Everything is there. Because of our greed. That's why we are making it not reachable. And then the solution, what we find for overpopulation is contraceptions, advancement of science with pills, with abortions, with what is it called, surgeries. And we say, hey, did we tackle the population? Yeah, the rate of increase is less. But what happens? Did it solve the problem of starvation? No, people are still starving for food. So man-made solutions won't work because man-made problems are bigger than man-made solutions. The only solution is appreciated only when we are in the mode of goodness. When we are in the mode of goodness, then we have a guru. We will consult a guru. Yeah, Lord Ramchandra himself, when he appeared on earth, he didn't do anything on his own. He's the Lord who is all cognizant, omnipotent, omniscient. But what he did, he always consulted Vasishtha Muni and Vishwamitra Muni. Even when it comes to lifting the what is that bow? Yeah, who gave it? Sri.
Nagamaharshi, Shiva Dhanush.
Yeah, Shivadanas, who gave it? And this Tripurari. Yeah. After Lord Shiva has killed Tripurasura, then this bow was given and in the custody of Janaka Maharaj. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that way, we see there is knowledge. If one is in the mode of goodness, only it's possible. Lord Ram was showing that Guru is very important. In spite, he knows everything. Why? Because he is the Lord himself. But he showed Krishna, he had Guru, Sandipani Muni. Isn't it? So the role of Guru is so important. Otherwise, we will just think ourselves that is right, this is right, and decide whatever, and then create a lot of disturbances that we are already doing. But at least when we have a Guru, we consult, and Guru is not concocting his own laws or no, no, Bhagwan ke paas jaane ka zarurat nahi. You don't have to worship God. If you worship me, I'll take care of it because I'm powerful. So he's not a real Guru. He's a fake Guru. A Guru means always brings us closer to the Lord. He is a via instrument. He's a via instrument to bring us closer to the Lord. So he's a Guru. And then we consult Shastras. We consult Shastras like Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam. And through those, we understand what is the code of conduct that we should follow, implement, apply. And then sadhus, when we do this, then we appreciate sadhu in everyone. Oh, he's a sadhu. Yeah, of course, we don't want to go to anyone and everyone who's in the mode of passion and ignorance and say, hey, you are sadhu. Yeah, we at least will have eyes to see who is the real sadhu. And then we go and take shelter of that sadhu. So when we are supported by these three, sadhu, shastra, and guru, then we can not only stay in the mode of goodness, we can even transgress or we can transcend these three modes of nature, and that is what Krishna is saying, supreme perfection one can attain. By knowing what are the bondages, then we can know, okay, how to get free from that bondage. Yeah, I'll stop here. Any questions, thoughts, comments you want to share? What is the takeaway from today? Are there any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Prabhuji, one question. So is it necessary for a person to be in mode of goodness to accept the process of devotion? Or is it still that he can still accept and appreciate in the mode of ignorance and passion?
One who is in the mode of passion, he is only seeing pain and gain. Yeah, he cannot appreciate bhakti. Yeah, but of course, he can still in the mode of passion. It doesn't mean that he can't do donations, because at least in that donation, though he's seeing his own benefit, he's going in front of the deity and he's praying, "Hey Lord, I I will give you this and kindly give me that." There is give and take, right? Yeah, it's a business. It is still bhakti, yeah, because he's not offering to some other company who is going to do that. He's still going to the Lord. Lord will purify uh, in the due course of time that, okay, you have given me something. I'll definitely give you what you really need. Hmm? And in the mode of ignorance, he may not even go to the Lord, yeah, because there is also all this whole chapter will describe. I think it is this chapter or 18th chapter which will tell what kind of worship is done by a person who is in the mode of passion, who is in the mode of ignorance, and who is in the mode of goodness.
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah, fine. Yeah. So for them, there are different ways to.
Yeah, different results.
Yes, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, about the mode of goodness, can one stay in the mode of goodness, or there would be always mixture of three gunas?
So, yeah, just imagine that paint box has the colors, three colors together. Yeah, you just go to what is this, and what is it called, Bauhaus or anywhere, you go and ask, hey, I want these three colors, put it in. They have the three colors in it. Sometimes depending on the um, the palette that you pick up, yeah, something will be dominated, something may not be dominated. So one who is in the mode of goodness, yeah, we are in this world which has three, right? The world has three colors, or actually a combination of all this will lead to 81. But yeah, when we are in this world, we are exposed to three, not just one. And sometimes we may be carried away by mode of passion, sometimes mode of ignorance. But with the strength of knowledge and detachment, one can still be in the mode of goodness as much as possible. But if we don't even have the knowledge, then there is no, yeah, then there is no scope or hope that we can really think, oh, let me come back. So this is very difficult. One who is in the mode of ignorance, he will not appreciate anything. The best thing is Gyu Prasad. Philosophy for him is too far. One who is in the mode of passion, okay, give little philosophy, but also, yeah, in that philosophy, show what he will get. Yeah. And when it comes to mode of goodness, then give him proper philosophy that way. Yeah. Or you see the people who are suffering in the mode of passion and ignorance, don't suffer like them. Hmm? Then he will understand. Oh, yes, it's real suffering. Let me not be there. But if you tell that to the mode of passion guy, he says, what you're saying is right, but I think, no, let me continue enjoying. So he's not yet matured to understand that. Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, the torch of knowledge should be continuously
Yeah.
holded
On.
to be in the mode of goodness.
Yes. And the torch of knowledge is coming from where? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So Guru is helping us, illuminating. Yeah. We have come to the platform of goodness, or we want to come to the platform of goodness that is illuminating and illuminated by Guru. So we depend a lot on the mercy and the grace of Guru, because he is the one for us, we don't know. We don't have this discrimination ability to know what is right, what is wrong. Not discrimination. We don't have the ability to differentiate what is right, what is wrong. So Guru is saying, yes, what you consider as gold is actually not really gold. It's only glittering gold. Why? Because he is a Tattvadarshi. Tadvidhi Pranipatina Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadeshanti Jnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshana. Yeah, they have already traveled through all these things. They know what is right, what is wrong, what is real, what is not real. So they, with their knowledge, with that knowledge, we also will apply and do it. Just like a person, if you tell, hey, smoking is injurious to health, who will listen? Who is in the mode of goodness? Who is in the mode of ignorance? He says, hey, as I told, no? He will say, hey, what you are telling, come on, you don't know. This is happiness, the real happiness, the most important happiness. And the person who is in the mode of goodness, he says, wait for a few months, few years, then you will know that is not real happiness. The thing that appears like that, as we were discussing now in Hamburg Temple, in the mode of passion, what is happiness? Initially, it will be looking very, very happy, like a nectar. But what will happen? Eventually, it becomes poison because it is at a sense level, enjoyment level. Senses are engaged. And the mode of ignorance, whatever they think is happiness is not at all happiness. Only in the mode of goodness, then he knows, okay, what is difficult now? But if I stick to this, because it's based on knowledge, if I do it tomorrow or day after tomorrow or day after tomorrow, there will be happiness. Initially, it is poison, looks like poison, no interest, no taste. But if we follow that with discipline, then what we get is happiness, which is nectar in the end. Yeah. More Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, we strive to remember this knowledge as well as the mercy of Guru will also
Yeah.
both
As soon
you.
as when we are practicing bhakti, what is happening is this transformation comes because it's not like, okay, even Adrasa Prabhu was asking, should we really come from ignorance to passion and passion to goodness and goodness not to fall down? Huh? Bhakti can be practiced anytime, yeah, even if one is in the mode of ignorance. But the probability for him to practice bhakti is very less because he's looking happiness in something else, which is not based on knowledge.
So as I understood, it is like a good platform to
Yeah,
progress.
goodness is already a good platform because when someone is in Sattvagun, he understands that he should have compassion. There is a whole list of qualities. I think um, uh, these qualities are telling or saying who is in the mode of goodness. So, and these qualities are the basis to appreciate bhakti in life. So, qualities, yeah. So, when we are telling someone is in mode of goodness, it's all about qualities. If someone is in mode of passion, it's all about the qualities. Because a person's qualities are directed or are under the jurisdictions of the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we say, na, hey, I didn't know why I was so angry. Yeah, mode of passion has dominated. Sometimes we say, hey, I didn't know what to do. Uh, I just behaved like a shameless person. That is because of ignorance. Only when we come in the mode of goodness, then we understand, oh, I am like that, I am like this. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, then that's a good kickoff of chapter 14. Thank you very much for joining. Before we end up this chapter, I hope that may Lord bless us with knowledge that we require to make a spiritual journey supreme perfect. Yeah, and then the key for all this understanding definitely is what? Chanting the names of the Lord, because without that, we cannot appreciate the mode of goodness because we need strength to believe in it. If we don't have strength to believe in mode of goodness, we will very easily give up. We will just say, hey, it's too much difficult for me. That's why we don't even want to endeavor. We don't want to spend time. We don't want to hear all these things. So to keep up ourselves in the mode of goodness or even above is what? Chanting the name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.